So gotta make sure we get Jay's gift wrapped up today, Joanna's and Laura's. Yeah, and let's see, let's track the shipping on those. Okay. Perfect. Get that saved. Let's see here. My hands are so dry today. Ooh. Let me get a little lotion. Okay. Oh, hi there. Welcome into Greater Gifts. Yeah, my name's Greta. It's lovely to meet you. Yeah, sorry, I just put some lotion on, otherwise I'd shake your hand. It's lovely to see you. Did you have an appointment with us or a walk-in? Oh, perfect. Yeah, we've got that here. Okay, Ooh, let me make sure I'm all set. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so have you been in with us before? Okay. All right. So let me tell you a little bit about how our system works. So we here at Greater Gifts feel like everyone is a great gift giver. They just might need a little help in the right direction, maybe some help sourcing things. I know it's easy to, just pick something in your price range from someone's wish list at a big box store, but a lot of people want to give a more personalized gift. And that's where we come in. So what we do is we get some information from you. It can be as specific or as general as you like. So then we can actually kind of work with you on finding a gift that is really meaningful, but also is something that's from you. It's not something that we just decide and you say, that's exactly it. Like, we work together with you on that. Okay. Sorry, I'm having my morning tea. Okay, so let's get started. So, how many different people are you intending to get gifts for? Is it just one? Is it multiple? Your whole family? A whole office? Yeah, just some general information. And actually, why don't we start here? So let me first start. I need to get some of your information here. So let me get your first and last name. I'll get a new form started for you. Okay. And can you spell your name for me? I'm so sorry. As a Greta? Yeah. There are enough people who spell it different that I like to make sure I get it right the first time. Okay. Okay, that's a wonderful name. Is that like a family name? Oh, how cool. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, mine's a family name. It was my great-grandmother's name. I know. But those old names, they're classic in a way. They're kind of always valid, They're kind of always around. Kind of like Charlotte. That's a name that I feel like is kind of evergreen. It's been around for ages, but Anyway, so we've got your first and last name, and then what is the best way for us to reach you? Is it by phone, email, text message? Let's see here. Perfect. Okay, and then let's see, and you already said how many gifts. And then do you have a price range per gift or does it kind of vary? Right, yeah, sometimes people, they're willing to spend more on a kid than on, say, their in-laws. You know what I mean? Like usually someone is more willing to spend a little more on an 8-year-old than, a 58-year-old. You know, stuff like that. Okay. Let's see. Okay, perfect. So we've got that. Okay, we've got the amount of people, we've got your budget. Okay, and now we can be as specific as you like. So for the people or the person that you want to give these gifts to, would you like to have their name in our system? Like as a way to differentiate them? You can make it like a nickname. Okay. And let's see here. And can you spell that just to make sure I get it right? Okay. Okay. All right. So, all right. What I'm going to have you do now is for the names that we have here, do you have any idea of, say, like the type of gift you're looking for? Maybe a genre of gift, for instance. Are they into Legos? Are they a makeup lover? Are they someone who is just getting into a hobby? Sometimes that can be really fun if they're just getting into a hobby and you want to kind of help facilitate if they're interested in that long term. Yeah, okay, here. So let's see. Let me take a look. So we have a makeup lover. Okay, love that. That's one of my personal specialties, so I'm very happy to hear that. We have a makeup lover. We have a gamer, also one of my specialties. And let's see. Then we have, okay. And the third one, you're not too sure, but they're definitely crafty. Okay. So like not to pry too much, but your relationship to all three of these people, can you go into a little bit about that? Like, are they a partner, a friend, coworker? Okay. A partner. Okay. I understand that dynamic for sure. Okay. And a kid. Well, not tiny kid. Got it. And then let's see here. Okay, perfect. So, and then a coworker. Perfect. And then, do you mind giving me rough age ranges for all three? Okay. Yeah, I won't tell. Okay, perfect. Perfect. All right, I love this. I'm so glad that you came in today. I think you're going to have a really, really wonderful holiday. I love that. Let's see here. So, okay, so for the makeup lover, let's talk about this a little bit. Are they someone who is more into like colorful makeup? Are they like more neutral every day? Are you not sure? Because it's fine if you don't know. We can work with that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there is a fine line between like wanting to have someone kind of step out of the box, like step out of their shell in a way. There's a fine line between having someone, try something new versus something that'll make them uncomfortable. So I totally understand. And yeah, it can be helpful to have a third party help you out, especially we do have a money back guarantee. So if for whatever reason your recipient does not enjoy their gift, you can actually come back to us with that information and we'll make it right. We'll either return the gift, we will credit you, we'll supply a different gift. Really, we just want to make sure that the gift itself is received well. Yeah, exactly. So that's what we're here to do. Now, as far as the makeup goes, you said possibly trying something new. Is it a situation where they're like pretty comfortable with how to wear makeup? They just might not try new things very often? Or what would you say their comfort level is with makeup? Okay. Yeah, I feel like that's definitely reasonable. For sure. Okay. I've already got some really good ideas. Now, as far as their makeup collection goes, because we definitely don't want to get them something that they already have, do you have an idea of where they shop at like the most for makeup? Like Amazon, Ulta, Sephora, Walmart, drugstores? Okay. Okay, I see. So you're looking to maybe splurge on them a little bit, get them something they probably wouldn't buy themselves. Ooh, I love that. Love, love, love that. Okay, so I'm already thinking of some ideas for the makeup lover in your life. So, what I would recommend then, would you say that they're pretty into like eyeshadow, eye makeup? Okay, perfect. I would say that going with maybe a new eyeshadow palette is a fun way to kind of broaden their makeup collection in a way that they might not do themselves. Usually with, foundation, blush, things like that, even eyebrow makeup, they usually have like a tried and true that they really love. But with eye makeup, it's a lot easier to try a new thing. So, what I'm going to recommend is I'm going to actually recommend a brand. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're called Adept Cosmetics. Yeah, they're a smaller brand. I believe they're based out of like Colorado, I believe. Yeah, they're an independent brand and they're fairly small, which is nice. So that means that likely the makeup lover in your life doesn't already have something from them. But it is possible that they do, obviously. But I would say it's less likely. And they do have some really interesting options as far as eyeshadow palettes go. They actually have a couple of newer ones that came out in the fall. So if your makeup lover hasn't bought any makeup recently, I would say those are probably a good bet. And they have very interesting color stories, which is always a favorite. Yeah, let me see if I can pull them up here for you. Okay, let's see. Yeah, one moment. Okay, so you should be seeing those on your screen. And let's see. Perfect. Yeah, so here are some of their newer options as far as eyeshadow palettes go. And you don't think this person's ever like purchased from them, anything like that? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things to where it's pretty niche, but I can say the quality is absolutely amazing. Yeah, absolutely amazing. So let me see here. One moment. Okay. Now, of these, are any of these like color stories really calling to you? Okay. Yeah. I mean, we can definitely look at some other options as well. I would recommend, let's see, for the makeup lover in your life, are they, let me see, are they a little on like the nerdy side? Do they play like any tabletop role-playing games, D&D, even World of Warcraft, things like that? Okay. I mean, if that's something that they are into, or maybe you're looking to help them get into, kind of bridge that gap, there is also a company called Fantasy Cosmetica. They do some palettes and they have blushes, brushes, all kinds of things. But it's usually more in the like nerdy realm of like they have a druid palette, they have a sorcerer palette, things like that. Okay. Could be, could be. Okay, and then last but not least, would you say that the makeup lover in your life, are they more of a traveler? Like, do they enjoy traveling as a hobby? Yeah, like different places. Maybe there's places you want to go. Because there is also a brand called Nomad Cosmetics. And what they do is they are a travel based beauty brand. Yeah, so they go all around the world and they have color stories that are inspired by like various places. So for instance, one of their recent palettes was inspired by the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, I grew up there, so I'm incredibly biased. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not even sorry, but I'm incredibly biased about it. Yeah. But they have other ones. They have like some beautiful European based palettes. They have all kinds of beautiful things. And those three brands, I would say those are a good recommendation. I can vouch for the quality of all three. They do have varying price points. So depending on how much you're looking to spend, you could you could get a lot of bang for your buck on all three. And I mean, we're not sponsored by any of them, but it is something that we can personally vouch for their quality. We do have some of their items in stock. That way, if you wanted to, see them in person, because sometimes, a photo on a website doesn't always do justice to the actual product itself. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can definitely keep those things in mind. I've got them stored in my system here as potentials. That way we can kind of weigh the pros and cons. I can get you a list of what the prices would be. For instance, we would order them for you. We would essentially take on the shipping cost, things like that. You would pick them up from us. And we do also offer gift wrapping services. That way, in case you don't want to wrap it yourself, we have gift wrappers on site. Yeah, Absolutely. Those would be the three that I recommend starting with. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, now for the younger person, the one who's a bit of a gamer, would you say are they getting into like kind of tabletop games, video games, a little of both? Okay. Yeah, I mean, we do have a lot of items that are video game themed, but also work in a tabletop setting. I know that sounds like a lot, but for instance, we have a book of, it's Minecraft one shots for D&D. So it's set like in the Minecraft universe. It's pretty cool. I haven't played any myself. And of course, we do have lots of sets of dice, things like that. We have, the general rule books, things like that. Do you know, is it something that they're just kind of getting into? Okay, so they like maybe play with their friends, but not so much with you. Okay, yeah. I mean, I fully understand. I have a 14-year-old nephew who thankfully still thinks I'm pretty cool, but you know, but let's see. I totally understand. So let's take a look here. Let me get some stuff pulled up. So, as far as gaming goes, I think you really can't go wrong with getting some sets of dice. I feel like that's one of those gifts that everyone of all ages appreciates. They're just fun, you know? The clickety clackety math rocks, as they're called. It's just fun for all ages to play with. We have some good dice sets. We have some that are more niche. Like, for instance, some people really enjoy metal dice, some people like glass dice. We do, of course, have many sets of acrylic dice. We also have some that are liquid core dice, which are very cool. They have like glitter on the inside. So that way, when you roll them, you can see kind of the glitter. As far as like video games go, that one can get a little tricky with regards to, do they already have this game? If you ask if they already have it, they might, know that you're going to get it for them, that kind of stuff. So, what I would recommend is instead of going with a like video game itself, you could go with like accessories. For instance, like if they have a Nintendo Switch, you could get them a case for it, something like that. It is a little less of a fun gift, but it's one of those like it is pretty necessary depending on the age of the kid. But let's see here. So, what else would I recommend as far as tabletop things go? We do have like a set of minis. We have mini monsters. We have just mini heroes. They're kind of generic, which is kind of nice in a way. You can paint them yourself, you can make them your own, things like that. So I do recommend those sets. We do also have some like essentially blind boxes, but for D&D, to where they have like a set of monsters in it. So that can be fun too, adds like an extra element of surprise. Those would be the things that I recommend. We do have a partnership with Gongai Games. We're not sponsored by them, but they are our supplier for tabletop games. So if you did want to go through them, that is something we could help you with. Yeah, they actually have a website. It's pretty easy to find, but you can absolutely browse there. Yeah, if you see anything that jumps out to you, let us know. We can ship it here. And again, we have our own gift wrapping services. Now, last but not least, the gift for the crafty person in your life. So they are someone who you know is crafty. You don't necessarily know what crafts they're into, but you think it's yarn based, either crochet, maybe knitting. Oh, that makes sense for why you don't know. And you can't really ask. Yeah, I totally get it. Okay, so let's see here. Let me pull this all up. Okay, so what I would recommend then is if you think that it's a fiber art, I would recommend getting them some yarn. I know it sounds so basic and it sounds like, oh no, like, what if I get the wrong kind? If there's someone who has been crafting for a long, long time, there is no such thing as the wrong kind of yarn. There just isn't. Some people who do fiber arts, crafting, things like that, they will essentially save yarn. I don't want to use the term hoard. They don't hoard it. They collect yarn. And for a lot of people, that is kind of the gateway into fiber arts. Is they essentially hang on to it and just never use it. So yeah, it's one of those things that to an outsider it doesn't make a lot of sense, but as someone who does crochet quite a bit, I fully understand that there are just some yarns that you hang on to and then you're like, oh, I should use this, and then you don't. So for me, what I would recommend for a type of yarn that everyone can use, I would actually recommend a just full 100% cotton yarn. Some people are sensitive to acrylic yarn. Acrylic yarn is generally cheaper than cotton, but the quality of a cotton yarn just can't be beat. It really can't. I mean, especially if the person is crocheting a lot, cotton can be really handy for making, washcloths, for making, I've seen people make sweaters out of cotton yarn. It's just very handy. And the nice thing about us here at Greater Gifts is we have an in, let's say, with some yarn suppliers. So we're able to get the cotton yarn at quite a discount. Yeah, a lot of places will sell like a cotton blend to try to make the cotton yarn like softer, kind of like an acrylic yarn would be, but they're not absorbent. So, for instance, if you're trying to make like a washcloth, or some people make those little, like, they hold like a soap and things like that, like a bar soap, those things, they obviously need to be absorbent. They need to be able to do what you're trying to do with them, whether that's a dishcloth, a face cloth, something like that. I would highly recommend a cotton yarn just because of the versatility of it. Now, I will say, here's where things can get tricky. I will say there are a lot of color options, but if you're not sure on what color to get someone, go with something basic. If you notice they wear a lot of pink or black, or maybe they wear a lot of beige, go with a color that you've seen them in, because chances are they're probably drawn to that color. If they wear a lot of bright colors, we do have some, variegated yarn, things like that. That would be my recommendation for them. Now, I wouldn't go with hooks or needles or anything like that. That's too specific. If you're not sure whether they knit or crochet, don't go with hooks. I mean, you could go with like scissors, things like that, but I would say definitely go with a cotton yarn. Yeah, absolutely. So what I can do here is I will draft up a few options for you, and then I will get them over to you as far as the communication method that you gave me. Yeah, we don't send any messages outside of business hours, so As long as those hours work for you, they work for us. But we will send you a message essentially saying, like, here are the choices, here are the prices. We do have a flat rate per gift as far as how much we charge for our services. But honestly, we're cheaper than most places shipping. So, since we pay all the shipping costs, that's kind of where it's at. But you didn't hear that from me. So, what I will say is, I will draft this all up. I will send you information about what we think is going to be the best fit based on your price ranges, based on the information given, and we will go from there. Yeah, I'm really glad you came in today. I think we can absolutely help you get this done by Christmas. Yeah, by all means. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Definitely take one of our cards. We're available via text message, phone, email. I think even our Discord is on there. That way you can reach out to us directly. But if you need anything, don't be a stranger. Happy to help you. And I hope you have a great day. Yeah, you take care now.